Hey guys, Karen here, welcome back to my channel today. I'm usually a very optimistic person when it comes to Bungie and what they do to Destiny. You know, I don't like to show my pessimistic side because I feel like a lot of you guys won't be able to relate to it or you won't enjoy watching that content. But I've been thinking lately, and there's a lot of things in Destiny that really do need to be improved or added into the game, and just stuff like that I really wanted to get off my chest. So this week's top 5 is going to be dealing with the top 5 things that I think Destiny has needed this entire time to make it the perfect game that it should have been from the very beginning. Also, while we're going through this, remember that the items on this list aren't arranged in any particular order like they usually are. Most of them are just placed in a random order on the list, with the exception of the final one, which I really do feel like is the most important one. Now, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to enjoy this video quite a bit, so make sure you are sharing this video around with your friends, your grandma, your cat, stuff like that. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and every time you share around a video, it really just helps out. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this. So what I've put in the number 5 slot is something that honestly aggravates the absolute hell out of me. This is when Bungie makes incomplete weapon sets or armor sets. So this is something that should never be done in the game ever. So what I'm talking about is when certain activities will reward a lot of different types of armor pieces or weapon types, but they will leave out the other ones. So for a few examples, in year 1, the Trials of Osiris rewarded a set called the Watcher's Armor Set, but it didn't have a helmet or a class item, which was aggravating, but it was alright because it was just kind of a minor armor set in the game. Now this year, there are no heavy weapons for Trials. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and there's no sidearms. So this really does aggravate me. So they didn't put any heavy weapons in. Cool, at least they're being consistent with that, but there is no sidearm really doesn't make sense. There's already a shotgun, a sniper, and a fusion rifle for Trials. Why would you just not put in one type of special weapon? That's really aggravating. I really don't care if they would have just taken like the Iron Wreath and put a Trials skin on it. It's really just that easy. They reskin a shit ton of stuff anyways, and oh, it aggravates the hell out of me, especially because I'm such an avid collector in this game. And yeah, and it makes it worse that there's never been a raid sword, an Iron Banner sword. There's no strike-specific pieces of armor, like chest pieces, but, you know, there's no chest piece, but the Hunter happens to have 4 different class items you can earn. I just don't understand where the logic is in this. Really, I just hate the feeling of my collection not being completed, and having a half a set of armor doesn't help that feeling. So that's definitely something that needs to be worked on in the future of this game. Next, in the number 4 slot, Bungie needs to stop leaving enemies behind. Specifically, I wanted to use the Vex for the main example in this one, but honestly, this can be attributed to anything or anyone in the lore who hasn't ever been in the actual game or has had very little time in the actual game. So in Destiny, we have 4 paid DLCs, 2 of which dealt with the Fallen, and 2 of which dealt with the Hive, and a little bit of Taken and Cabal sprinkled in there as well. But where are the Vex? So we had them for vanilla, a very haphazardly thrown together story for the Vex with the worst boss ever, the Blackheart. I still don't know what the hell that was. And then there was that time that the PlayStation players got that exclusive strike that kind of had Vex stories in it, but us Xbox players, we haven't had any Vex story in 2.5 years. That's just not okay. It's not alright at all. This same thing can be attributed to the Jovians, the Ahamkara, the Nine, the Leviathans from the Hive's home planet, and the list just goes on and on and on. I'm sure some of you guys didn't even know what some of those were. I mean, I can understand how the Fallen finding nearly infinite amount of power from a machine source is really cool, but where are my Vex? I mean, Vex are time-traveling robots from an alternate dimension. It really just doesn't get cooler than that. And they just kind of left them behind. So that's something that definitely needs to be changed in the future of Destiny. You know, we need more consistent story, and all of the enemies need to be explored. Not only enemies, all of the story applications need to be explored as well. In the 3rd slot, I'm putting something that deals with the Crucible. Specifically, I believe that the Crucible maps in Destiny need to be much more balanced. Now, for game modes like Clash, what the map looks like really doesn't matter. You know, you're constantly rotating around the map, and it really just doesn't matter, the spawns and stuff, as long as you don't get spawn trapped. However, in game types like Trials of Osiris, Rift, Control, you know, there's no reason for maps like Shores of Time to be extremely biased towards one of the teams and not towards the other. So in Trials on Shores of Time, one single spawn has the capture point and the heavy ammo, and then a great vantage point on all 3 of the choke points that leads to that area. That's just dumb. There's no reason for that. And then maps like Rusted Lands, where 2 of the control points are right next to each other and the other one's all the way across the map, that just doesn't make any sense. Come on, that's not balanced. And it honestly isn't like it can be that hard. Call of Duty releases like 25 to 30 maps every single year, and the great majority of them are significantly more balanced than the average Destiny map. And that just doesn't make sense to me. I think this just shows that something is going on where they don't really understand, or didn't when they were making these maps, what the flow of battle should have been like or something. Then you have maps like Black Shield, Pantheon, you know, they're very, very balanced. And then you just, shortest of time, there's no excuse for it. So I just don't know. If the Destiny professional scene is going to go anywhere, they really need to work on that. Next, I'm going to be putting a fairly controversial one. I think that there should be no static rolls on weapons in this game. So what that means is I don't want any weapons to have a single set of perks. So I shouldn't be able to pick up 12 identical red deaths and they all be exactly the same. Now, I do want the exotic perk to always stay the same, but the perks that affect things like accuracy, range, and other stats should vary, especially on exotics. I mean, in games like Borderlands, people would farm for hours just to get a perfect Unkept Herald dropped or other legendaries and stuff like that, and that's what I want from Destiny. I want to be able to farm for stuff. The same thing goes for raid weapons. Sure, guns like the Black Hammer, you know, they have their iconic perks like White Nail. You know, make them be able to keep that, but I want to farm for a Godroll Fatebringer. I don't want to be handed one. This would add a lot of replayability to the raids. It would fix a lot of things. You know, I haven't done the Wrath of the Machine raid in over 2 months, and I know most of the people in my clan haven't done it in longer than that. And that's just because there's no reason to do it. There's, you know, you get the weapons once and you have them. I mean, that's it. So I really think static rolls are actually killing the amount of time that people put into Destiny, and that really needs to be changed in the future. And finally, we have reached what I deem to be the most important change that needs to come to Destiny. Bungie needs to be more transparent and communicate with their fans more. So they have 2 community managers, and it's really time to start using them, not just to put out regular content, but to keep us informed what the team is doing. For example, right before the Rise of Iron launch, Christopher Barrett told everyone about the 4-month roadmap. You know, we knew that the Festival of Lost was coming back, we knew that the SRL was coming back, that it would have something else for PvE players, and stuff like that. But now both of those things have passed 4 months later, and we're sitting here without a clue what is going on. This just can't be happening, period. Like, there's no reason for it. We don't know anything about when another live event will take place. We know that there is going to be something, we got that confirmed, but we don't know what it is or when it will be. And then we have next to no news on Destiny 2 at all. So that's just ridiculous. We need things to look forward to keep us invested in the game currently. That's just how it works. That's how the human psychology works. And this will make us more attached to the game, keep us playing it, and then keep us coming back for more in the future. And honestly, it's just proper etiquette for Bungie to keep us informed on what's going on in the game. It just makes sense as a good game developer. So those are the top 5 things I really think need to change in Destiny to make it a better game. Like I said, I have a feeling that a lot of people share my opinions on this, so make sure you are sharing this video around to increase the kind of voice that we have. You know, the more people that see this, the more chances that someone at Bungie will really realize how serious we are about this stuff. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're interested in seeing the video on screen where Bungie confirms that there will in fact be more from the live team this year, you can click the annotation to be taken to it. Remember guys, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe for more awesome Destiny content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.